Welcome to the Wisdom Embassy, a place where hearts are strengthened, faith is awakened, and purpose is rediscovered. This channel is dedicated to sharing powerful spiritual messages that inspire hope, restore belief, and remind you that your life is not random, but guided by a greater purpose. Every message here is designed to encourage your spirit, deepen your understanding of faith, and help you see the unseen work God is doing in your life. If you have ever felt like you were waiting for something greater, if you have ever wondered why certain seasons of life feel slow or uncertain, then you are in the right place. Sometimes the most powerful things God is doing in our lives happen quietly behind the scenes while we are learning patience, building faith, and preparing for the future that has already been written for us. Here at the Wisdom Embassy, we believe that every chosen one is on a journey of growth and preparation. Through uplifting messages, spiritual encouragement, and faith-filled reflections, this channel is here to remind you that your story is still unfolding and that every delay often carries a deeper purpose. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and allow this message to speak to your spirit. If this is your first time here, welcome to a community where faith grows stronger, hope rises again, and wisdom leads the way. There are moments in life when you feel that something important is being prepared beyond what your eyes can see. Deep within your spirit, there is a quiet awareness that your journey is not random. The path you're walking carries meaning and purpose, even when the details are hidden. Many people search for love quickly and try to force relationships to happen, but the chosen ones often walk through a very different process. Their relationships are not built only on emotion or chance. They are shaped through seasons of preparation that happen long before two people finally meet. If you are someone who feels that your future marriage carries a deeper purpose, then you must understand something very important. The person you will eventually marry is not just waiting somewhere doing nothing. Their life is also moving through a process. Their character is being shaped. Their heart is being strengthened. Their faith is being strengthened. Their faith is being tested. Just as you are growing and learning through your own experiences, the person who will walk beside you in life is also going through their own journey of preparation. God never connects two lives carelessly. When He brings people together for something meaningful, He first prepares them separately. The preparation may include challenges that build wisdom, moments of loneliness that develop patience, and situations that reveal the true condition of the heart. What feels like delay is often a season of refinement. Ecclesiastes reminds us that there is a time for everything and a season for every purpose under heaven. There is a season for planting and a season for harvesting. A season for harvesting, a season for fulfillment. And many people want the harvest without respecting the season of planting, but the chosen ones understand that the process is just as important as the promise. Right now, somewhere in this world, the person who will one day share your life may be facing situations that are shaping their future. They may be learning difficult lessons about trust. They may be discovering the importance of integrity. They may be walking away from relationships that were never meant to last. Each experience is shaping them into someone capable of carrying the responsibility of a meaningful union. Think about the story of Ruth. Ruth's journey did not begin with immediate blessing. She experienced loss and uncertainty. Yet her faithfulness and humility placed her in the path of a future she never imagined. When she chose loyalty and courage, she stepped into a story that eventually connected her with Boaz. Their meeting was not random. It happened after seasons of faith and obedience. This shows us something powerful about divine connections. Before two lives come together, God often allows each person to walk through experiences that reveal their true character. Proverbs reminds us that above all else, we must guard our hearts because everything flows from it. The person you will marry must also learn how to guard their heart. They must learn how to recognize what is genuine and what is temporary. These lessons are not always easy, but they are necessary. Many people look at their own lives and wonder why relationships did not work out in the past. Sometimes the answer is simple. Those connections were not part of the preparation for your future. There were moments that taught you what love should never look like. They were experiences that sharpened your ability to recognize something real. When it finally arrives, the same thing may be happening in the life of the person who will one day become your partner. They are learning how to value honesty. They are discovering the importance of patience. They are realizing that true love cannot grow in environments filled with pride and selfishness. 1 Corinthians speaks about the nature of love in a way that reveals the depth of what God desires for relationships. Love is patient and kind. It does not envy and it does not boast. It is not proud and it does not dishonor others. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. These qualities are not developed overnight. They are cultivated through life experiences. These qualities are not developed overnight. They are cultivated through life with the Soulmate. Sometimes those experiences include disappointment or struggle because those moments reveal what truly matters. The chosen ones must understand that God is not only preparing you for marriage. The chosen ones must understand that God is not only preparing you for marriage. He is also preparing the person who will share that journey with you. You may be praying for clarity about your future partner while they are praying for guidance about their own life. He is a self, their own life. You may be learning how to trust God more deeply while they are learning how to overcome fears that once controlled them. Both journeys are moving forward even though the two paths have not yet crossed. Psalm 37 encourages believers to trust in the Lord and commit their way to Him. It reminds us to be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Waiting is difficult for the human heart because we live in a world that celebrates speed. Everything around us pushes for immediate results, but God's timing is never rushed. When something carries real purpose, it requires careful preparation. Imagine what would happen if two people met before they had grown into the individuals they were meant to become. Their immaturity might damage something that could have been beautiful later. Their fears might create conflict that patience could have prevented. God understands the importance of timing. That is why the chosen ones often experience seasons where it feels like nothing is happening, but in reality something is happening beyond what the eye can see. Live. S are being shaping, paths are being aligned, hearts are being aligned, hearts are being prepared. Jeremiah reminds us that God has plans for our lives, plans for hope and a future. These plans are not accidental. They are designed with wisdom and care. Sometimes God allows the person you're married to face tests that reveal their strength of character. Those tests may involve moments where they must choose honesty instead of comfort. Those tests may involve moments where they must choose honesty instead of comfort. They may face situations where they must remain faithful, even when no one is watching. Character is proven when decisions are made in private. The same is true for you. Your own life may be filled with moments where your faith is tested. You may be learning how to remain patient when answers seem slow. You may be discovering the importance of trusting God even when the future is unclear. Even the future is unclear. These lessons create the foundation for a relationship that will be strong enough to survive challenges. Marriage is not simply about emotion. It is about partnership. It is about two people walking together with shared values and a shared commitment to grow. Amos asks a simple question that carries deep meaning. Can two walk together unless they agree? Agreement does not mean perfection. It means both people are moving in the same direction spiritually and emotionally. That kind of alignment requires preparation. It requires two individuals who have learned how to trust God personally before they attempt to build a life together. If you feel like you are in a season of waiting, do not assume that nothing is happening. The person who will eventually walk beside you may be in a season where their character is being strengthened. They may be learning lessons that will one day allow them to support you in ways you cannot yet imagine. God often writes love stories that begin long before the two people involved realize it. He shapes circumstances and guides decisions in ways that bring lives together at the right moment. Genesis reminds us that God said it is not good for a person to be alone. This statement reveals that companionship was always part of the design of human life. But the right companionship must be built on something deeper than attraction. It must be built on purpose. When two people meet at the intersection of purpose, something extraordinary begins to happen. Their lives strengthen one another. Their faith encourages one another. Their faith encourages one another. Their presence becomes a reminder of God's goodness. But before that moment arrives, both individuals must grow into the people capable of carrying such a connection. That is why the chosen ones must learn patience. Patience does not mean passively waiting without growth. Patience means continuing to develop your faith character and understanding while trusting that the right time will arrive. Galatians reminds believers not to grow weary in doing good, because in due season we will reap if we do not lose heart. The phrase due season is important. It suggests that the harvest arrives at the moment when preparation is complete. The lock, your future partner, is not just sitting somewhere waiting for destiny to happen. Their life is unfolding through experiences that shape their identity and strengthen their faith. They may be learning how to overcome mistakes from the past. They may be discovering the importance of forgiveness. They may be discovering the importance of forgiveness. They may be growing into someone who will be capable of loving deeply and faithfully. And as their journey continues, something begins to take shape that neither of you can fully see yet. Because the story God is writing in both of your lives is quietly moving toward a moment where two paths finally cross. When that moment arrives, it will not feel like an accident. It will feel like something that was quietly unfolding for a long time, finally becoming visible. Many people describe such encounters as if they stepped into a chapter that had already been written long before they realized it. This is because divine timing rarely announces itself with loud signals. It often reveals itself gently through peace in the heart and clarity in the spirit. Before that moment arrives, both lives must continue to grow. Before that moment arrives, both lives must continue to grow. The person who will walk beside you may be facing situations right now that are teaching them responsibility. They may be learning how to manage their emotions when pressure rises. They may be discovering the importance of humility and compassion. These lessons may seem small at first, but they shape the kind of partner someone will become in the future. In the same way, your own life may be filled with moments where patience feels difficult. There may be days when you wonder why the promise of companionship feels delayed. There may be days when you wonder why the promise of companionship feels delayed. Yet those moments are often invitations to strengthen your faith. They teach you to build your identity on something deeper than circumstances. James reminds believers that the testing of faith produces perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that a person becomes mature and complete, lacking nothing. This principle applies not only to personal growth, but also to relationships that will carry lasting purpose. When two individuals learn perseverance separately, they are far more prepared to face challenges together later. Many relationships fail because people meet before they understand the value of commitment. They may feel strong emotions, but they have not yet developed the wisdom to sustain love when difficulties appear. God understands this reality, which is why preparation often takes longer than people expect. The chosen ones must remember that God does not measure time the way human beings do. What feels like a long delay to us may simply be a season of careful preparation in the greater story He is. What feels like a long delay to a story He is writing? Somewhere the person who will share your life may be experiencing moments that feel confusing to them. They may be questioning why certain doors closed in their past. They may wonder why some relationships ended even when they hoped they would last. And they may wonder why some relationships ended even when they hoped they would last. Yet those endings may have been protection rather than loss. Proverbs reminds us that the Lord directs the steps of a person even when the path seems uncertain. Many times God removes individuals from our lives not to punish us, but to protect the future He intends to build. The same protection may be happening in the life of the one you will marry. Marry. Situations that seem painful at the time may have been guiding them away from paths that would have led them far from the life they are meant to share with you. When God prepares two people for a meaningful union, He often works in quiet ways. He shapes their perspectives. He refines their values. He teaches them to recognize the difference between temporary attraction and genuine love. The book of Proverbs speaks about wisdom as something more valuable than gold. Wisdom allows a person to make decisions that honor truth rather than impulse. When someone grows in wisdom, they become capable of building relationships that are rooted in trust. The person you will marry may be learning that wisdom right now. They may be discovering that love must be patient and respectful. They may be realizing that honesty is the foundation of every lasting connection. You may also be learning these same lessons in your own life. 5. Every challenge you face may be preparing you to become a partner who can support, encourage, and uplift another person. 1 Peter speaks about humility and reminds believers that God gives grace to the humble. Humility is essential in relationships because it allows people to listen and understand one another. Without humility, pride creates division. With humility, unity becomes possible. Imagine what happens when two people who have learned humility finally meet. Their conversations carry depth. Their actions reflect kindness. Their relationship becomes a place where both individuals grow stronger rather than weaker. This is the kind of connection God prepares for those who trust His process. While the world often celebrates quick romance, God focuses on lasting character. Character creates stability. Character builds trust. Character transforms affection into commitment. The testing your future partner may be experiencing right now is not meant to harm them. It is shaping them into someone capable of standing beside you with strength and integrity. They may be learning how to remain faithful even when life becomes uncertain. They may be discovering the power of prayer during difficult moments. They may be growing in their understanding of how to treat others with respect and compassion. Romans reminds believers that suffering can produce endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. Hope does not disappoint because it is rooted in the love that God places within the human heart. Every test your future partner faces may be strengthening their endurance. Every challenge may be building their character, and every step of that growth is preparing them to become someone who can walk beside you with faith. You may not know their name yet, you may not know where they live or what their life looks like today, but God knows every detail. He sees both stories at the same time. Psalm 139 reminds us that every day of our lives was written before one of them came to be. This means that the story of your life and the story of the one you will marry are not separate in the eyes of God. They are chapters within a larger narrative that He understands completely. Sometimes people feel discouraged. 2, ring seasons of waiting because they believe they are falling behind. They compare their lives with others and wonder why their story seems different. But comparison often blinds us to the unique path God has prepared. Your journey is not meant to mirror someone else's experience. The person you will marry is not meant to be shaped by the same circumstances that shaped others. Your story is unique because its purpose is unique. Isaiah reminds believers that God's thoughts are higher than human thoughts and His ways are higher than human ways. This means that what appears confusing today may reveal incredible meaning later. Many people who eventually experience strong marriages look back and realize that the seasons of waiting were necessary. Those seasons allowed them to develop patience, wisdom, and faith that later became the foundation of their relationship. The person who will walk beside you may one day share stories about the challenges they faced before they met you. You may realize that those challenges prepared them to understand you in ways that no one else could. And you may share your own journey of growth and faith with them as well. When two people meet after walking through seasons of preparation, something powerful happens. Their connection carries depth because both individuals have learned lessons that shape their understanding of love. They recognize that love is not only about excitement, it is about responsibility. It is about faithfulness during ordinary days and difficult moments alike. Ecclesiastes speaks about the strength of unity when it says that two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. When one falls, the other can help them rise. When one falls, the other can help them rise. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. This passage reminds us that relationships rooted in faith become stronger because they include the presence of God guiding both. Individuals, the preparation happening in your life and the life of your future partner is creating the foundation for that strength. You may not see it yet, but every lesson learned today is shaping the kind of partner you will become tomorrow. Every moment of faithfulness during times of uncertainty builds trust in God's timing. Every prayer spoken during lonely nights strengthens your connection with the one who understands the future completely. And somewhere your future partner may also be learning how to trust God through their own moments of uncertainty. They may not know your face yet, but their life is moving step by step toward the moment when your stories finally intersect. There will come a day when the lessons both of you learn separately will begin to serve a shared purpose. The patience you develop will help you support one another. The wisdom you gained will guide your decisions together. The faith you strengthened during seasons of waiting will become the foundation of your unity. Until that moment arrives, continue walking forward with confidence. Continue developing the character and faith that will make your future relationship strong. Trust that the person who will share your life is also being prepared through experiences that shape their heart and mind, because divine timing does not forget its promises. Every season of preparation is moving toward a moment when two lives that have been growing separately finally step into the same path. And when that moment finally comes, it will feel as if something long prepared has suddenly become visible. Many people describe such encounters as peaceful rather than overwhelming. Instead of confusion, there is clarity. Instead of anxiety, there is a calm assurance that this connection carries a different kind of depth. That quiet certainty is often the evidence of preparation that happened long before, or the meeting itself. Before two lives unite and purpose, both hearts must understand the value of trust. Trust is not something created in a single conversation. It grows through experiences where integrity is proven again and again. The person who will share your future may be in situations right now where their integrity is being tested. They may face moments where they must choose honesty, even when dishonesty would seem easier. They may be learning that true character is revealed when nobody else is watching. These private decisions shape the person they are becoming. They form the foundation for a relationship that will one day depend on loyalty and truth. Proverbs teaches that the righteous walk in integrity and their children are blessed after them. Integrity is not only a personal virtue, it creates stability for every relationship that grows from it. Your own journey may contain similar lessons. There may be situations where patience feels heavy and waiting feels uncertain. Yet those seasons are teaching you to rely on faith rather than impulse. Faith changes the way a person sees time. Instead of believing that everything must happen immediately, faith allows a person to trust that the right moment will come. Hebrews reminds us that faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This verse speaks directly to seasons of preparation. You cannot see the life of the person who will one day walk beside you. You cannot see the life of the lessons they are learning or the paths they are walking. Yet faith reminds you that God sees both stories clearly. Sometimes God allows experiences that challenge the heart because those experiences reveal hidden strengths. A person may not realize their own patience until they are placed in a situation that requires it. They may not understand their capacity for forgiveness until they face disappointment. These moments shape the emotional maturity necessary for lasting relationships. The person you will marry maybe discovering how to forgive someone who hurt them in the past. That lesson will teach them compassion. They may be learning how to overcome fear that once controlled their decisions. That lesson will teach them courage. Every test that strengthens their heart will eventually become a blessing in the life you share together. Think about the story of Joseph in Genesis. Joseph walked through betrayal, rejection, and long seasons of waiting. None of those moments made sense while they were happening, consist while they were happening. Yet each step prepared him for a future he could not imagine at the time. His character was shaped through hardship until he became someone capable of carrying great responsibility. Preparation often looks like difficulty before it reveals its purpose. The person who will marry you may be walking through their own version of preparation right now. They may be facing responsibilities that teach discipline. They may be building their faith through quiet moments of prayer. Moments of prayer. They may be learning how to stand firm when circumstances become uncertain. These experiences are shaping the partner they will eventually become. And just as they are being tested, your own life continues to develop through its own seasons. Perhaps you have experienced moments where loneliness felt overwhelming. Those moments may have drawn you closer to God. They may have deepened your understanding of His presence. And I have deepened your understanding of His presence. Psalm 34 reminds us that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This truth reveals something beautiful about seasons of waiting. Even when the heart feels heavy, God is not distant. He is present, shaping the soul in ways that strengthen faith. One day, you may look back and realize that the times you felt alone were actually moments where your spiritual foundation was growing stronger. When two people who have built their faith individually finally come together, their relationship carries stability. Instead of relying completely on one another for strength, they both rely on God as the source of their peace. This creates a partnership where encouragement flows both ways. Ecclesiastes speaks again about the power of unity when it describes a cord of 3 strands that is not easily broken. A relationship built on faith becomes resilient because it includes something greater than human effort. The person who will marry you must also learn to depend on that same source of strength. Perhaps they are in a season where they are discovering how to trust God during uncertainty. They may be facing decisions about their future that require courage. They may be learning how to surrender their own plans in order to follow a path that feels unfamiliar. These lessons prepare them for the responsibility of partnership. Marriage is not only about companionship, it is about walking together through every season life brings. There will be moments of joy and moments of challenge. There will be days when encouragement is needed and days when patience becomes essential. A relationship that survives these seasons must be built on hearts that have already learned resilience. The preparation you are experiencing today is building that resilience. Galatians encourages believers not to grow weary in doing good, because the harvest will come at the proper time if we do not give up. The promise of a harvest reminds us that waiting is not meaningless. It is part of the process that allows something valuable to grow. Your future partner may also be holding on to hope during their own season of waiting. They may be wondering when their life will change or when they will meet someone who understands them deeply. They may not realize that their path is slowly moving toward the moment when they meet you. God often prepares people separately so that when they finally meet, they recognize the difference between ordinary connection and something meaningful. Recognition happens not only through attraction, but through shared values and spiritual alignment. Amos asks whether two can walk together unless they agree. And Amos asks whether two can walk together unless they agree. Agreement in this sense means that both people are moving towards similar goals and living according to similar principles. That kind of alignment requires preparation that takes time. Imagine what would happen if two people met before they understood the importance of commitment. Their relationship might struggle under pressure because they had not yet learned how to support one another with patience and understanding. Preparation prevents that kind of weakness. The person who will marry you may be learning the importance of commitment through experiences that test their loyalty. They may be realizing that love must remain steady even when circumstances change. You may be learning those same lessons in your own life. Perhaps you have learned that genuine love requires sacrifice. Perhaps you have discovered that respect is the foundation of trust. Perhaps you have discovered that respect is the foundation of trust. These insights will shape the way you treat the person who eventually becomes your partner. The more you grow in wisdom now, the stronger your future relationship will become. Proverbs speaks often about the value of wisdom guiding every decision. Wisdom protects the heart from choices that lead to regret. It also helps a person recognize when something genuine enters their life. Your future partner is gaining that wisdom through their own experiences. They may not understand why certain doors closed or why some opportunities disappeared. Yet those moments may have been guiding them toward a future that includes you. Those moments may have been guiding them toward a future that includes you. Jeremiah reminds us that God knows the plans He has for us. Plans for hope and a future. Those plans for hope and a future. Those plans unfold step by step through seasons that sometimes feel ordinary and sometimes feel challenging. But each season moves the story forward. As time continues, your lives are slowly approaching the point where two paths finally intersect. Neither of you can see the full picture yet, but God sees every detail clearly. He sees the prayers you have spoken quietly in your heart. He sees the faith you hold even when circumstances feel uncertain. He sees the growth taking place within your character. He sees the growth taking place within your character. And He sheep you. And He sees the same growth taking place in the life of the one you will marry. One day when the timing is right, the lessons you both learned separately will begin to work together. The patience you developed will help you support each other during difficult moments. The wisdom you gained will guide your decisions as partners. The faith that sustained you through seasons of waiting will become the foundation of a relationship built on trust and purpose. Until that moment arrives, continue walking forward with confidence. Until that moment arrives, continue walking forward with confidence. Continue growing in character and faith. Continue trusting that every experience shaping your life today is preparing you for a future that will reveal its beauty at the right time. Because somewhere beyond what your eyes can see, the story of your life and the story of the one you will marry are moving steadily toward the moment when two journeys finally meet. And when two journeys that have been quietly unfolding finally meet, there is often a sense that something deeper than coincidence has taken place. It is not simply the excitement of meeting someone new. It is the quiet awareness that this meeting carries weight and meaning. Conversations begin to feel natural. Values seem to align in ways that are difficult to explain. Peace enters the heart instead of con. Peace enters the heart instead of con. Fusion. That peace is often the evidence of preparation that happened long before the moment arrived. Many people search for relationships by relying only on emotion or appearance. But when God prepares two people for a meaningful union, the connection is built on something stronger. It is built on shared growth, shared faith, and shared purpose. Those qualities cannot be created overnight. They develop through seasons where each individual learns lessons that shape their character. The person you will marry may be walking through moments right now that are teaching them responsibility. Perhaps they are learning how to manage challenges at work or in their personal life. These experiences build discipline. Discipline teaches a person how to remain steady when circumstances become difficult. That steadiness becomes an important part of a lasting relationship. In the same way, you may be learning how to handle your own responsibilities. Every challenge you face may be shaping the strength of your character. Sometimes people wish they could skip these seasons of preparation, yet without preparation, the weight of future blessings could become overwhelming. could become overwhelming. 1 Peter reminds believers to humble themselves under the mighty hand of God so that He may lift them up in due time. The phrase due time reminds us again that every blessing has a moment when it becomes visible. That moment is connected to readiness. If two people meet before they are ready, the relationship may struggle under pressure. But when preparation has taken place, patience and understanding become natural responses instead of difficult choices. Consider how the book of Proverbs describes wisdom as something that guards and guides a person. Wisdom protects the heart from decisions that create unnecessary pain. It also allows a person to recognize the value of someone who enters their life with sincerity and kindness. The person you will marry may be learning that wisdom through their own experiences. They may have seen how dishonesty damages relationships. They may have witnessed how selfishness destroys trust. These observations teach them to value honesty, loyalty, and compassion. You may also be learning those same truths in your own journey. Perhaps you have experienced moments where you realize that genuine love cannot exist without respect. Perhaps you have seen how patience transforms conflict into understanding. Each lesson you learn becomes part of the foundation for the relationship you will one day build. The Bible often reminds believers that character grows through testing. Romans explains that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. Hope does not disappoint because it is rooted in the love that God places within the human heart. This means that even the difficult seasons in your life carry purpose. They strengthen your perseverance. They deepen your understanding of what truly matters. The person you will marry may also be experiencing moments where perseverance is required. They may be facing decisions that require courage. They may be learning how to stand firm in their beliefs even when others disagree. These experiences refine their character and shape their future. Imagine the strength of a relationship formed by two individuals who have both learned perseverance before they ever meet. When challenges arise, they will not panic or withdraw. They will face those moments together with patience and faith. This is why preparation matters so deeply. God understands the future in ways that human beings cannot. He sees every moment that will shape the lives of both individuals. He knows which lessons must be learned before two paths intersect. Psalm 37 encourages believers to trust in the Lord and commit their way to Him. It also reminds them to be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Waiting patiently does not mean living without purpose. It means continuing to grow while trusting that the right moment will arrive. Some people become discouraged during seasons of waiting because they feel forgotten. Yet Scripture reminds us again and again that God does not forget the prayers of His people. Isaiah speaks about those who wait upon the Lord renewing their strength. They will soar like eagles and run without growing weary. Waiting with faith transforms the heart. Instead of creating bitterness, it builds strength. The person who will share your life may also be learning how to wait with faith. They may have dreams about their future, but they are learning to trust God's timing rather than rushing ahead. That shared understanding of patience will one day strengthen your relationship. Think again about the story of Ruth. Ruth chose loyalty and faithfulness, even during uncertain circumstances. Her journey eventually brought her into the life of Boaz. Their story reminds us that faithfulness during difficult seasons often leads to blessings that were previously unseen. Neither Ruth nor Boaz could have predicted how their paths would cross, yet God guided their lives toward that moment through a series of quiet events. The same kind of guidance may be unfolding in your life right now. You may meet someone unexpectedly in a place you never imagined. A conversation may begin that feels natural and meaningful. Over time, you may realize that the values you share were shaped by years of preparation. That realization often brings gratitude because it reveals how carefully God works behind the scenes. The person you will marry may one day share stories about the lessons they learned before meeting you. They may speak about moments where they questioned their path but continued trusting God. When you listen to those stories, you may recognize how those experiences prepared them to understand and support you. In the same way, you will share your own journey with them. You will speak about the seasons when patience was difficult. We'll speak about the seasons when patience was difficult. You will describe the moments when your faith grew stronger through prayer and reflection. Together, you will see how both of your lives were shaped in ways that prepared you for unity. Ephesians encourages believers to live with humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another in love. These qualities create harmony in relationships. They allow two individuals to grow together instead of pulling apart when difficulties arise. But humility, gentleness, and patience are not qualities that appear instantly. They grow through experiences where a person learns to value others deeply. The person who will marry you may be learning these qualities right now through interactions with friends, family, and colleagues. Each experience teaches them how to listen, how to forgive, and how to encourage. Those same lessons may be shaping your life as well. Those same lessons may be shaping your life as well. One day, when you walk together, those qualities will become the strength of your partnership. There will be moments when one of you feels tired or discouraged. During those moments, the other will provide encouragement. There will be times when decisions must be made carefully. During those times, your shared wisdom will guide you. Ecclesiastes reminds us again that two are better than one because they can help each other succeed. When one falls, the other can help them rise. That kind of support becomes possible when both individuals have grown through seasons of preparation. Until that meeting happens, continue focusing on the growth happening within your own life. Continue strengthening your faith through prayer and reflection. Continue developing the character that will make you a source of encouragement for another person. Trust that the person who will marry you is also walking through experiences that shape their heart and mind. Even though you cannot see their journey, it is unfolding with purpose. God is guiding both of your lives through moments that teach patience, wisdom, and faith. Each lesson moves the story forward, and slowly, quietly, without noise or announcement, the distance between your two paths continues to become smaller. Because every step of preparation, every lesson learned, and every prayer spoken is guiding both of your lives toward the moment when two journeys that have grown separately finally come together in the same direction. And when two journeys finally move in the same direction, there is often a sense of divine order that cannot easily be explained. It feels as though pieces of life that once seemed scattered suddenly begin to fit together with clarity. Conversations carry depth instead of confusion. Decisions become easier because both hearts are guided by similar values. What once felt uncertain begins to feel steady. This kind of connection does not happen by accident. It grows from the preparation that both individuals experience before they ever knew each other. The lessons you learned about patience, the lessons they learned about faithfulness, the moments where both of you discovered the importance of humility, all of these become the invisible foundation of your future. Many people underestimate the power of preparation because they focus only on the moment of meeting, yet the meeting itself is only the visible part of a much longer story. The meeting itself is only the visible part of a much longer story. Behind that moment are years of quiet growth moments where faith was tested and character was refined. The person you will marry may be walking through situations right now that require courage. Perhaps they are making decisive irons that shape the direction of their life. Perhaps they are choosing integrity when compromise would be easier. These choices may not seem connected to you today, but they are shaping the person they will become when your paths finally cross. In the same way, your own life may contain moments where your faith is stretched. You may be learning to trust God during seasons where answers are not immediate. Those moments teach the heart how to remain steady, even when circumstances feel uncertain. James reminds believers that patience must finish its work so that a person becomes mature and complete. Maturity is essential for relationships that carry purpose. Maturity is essential for relationships that carry purpose. Without maturity, small disagreements become large conflicts. With maturity, even difficult conversations become opportunities for understanding. The person who will share your life must also grow into that maturity. They must learn how to listen without pride and how to respond with kindness even when emotions run high. How to respond with kindness even when emotions run high. These abilities develop through experiences that teach humility. Humility is one of the most powerful qualities in a relationship because it allows both people to place value on each other. Philippians encourages believers to consider others more important than themselves and to look not only to their own interests, but also to the interests of others. Imagine a partnership where both individuals live with that mindset. Instead of competing for control, they support each other with respect. Instead of allowing pride to create distance, they approach every situation with patience, in patience. Such harmony becomes possible when both hearts have been shaped by the lessons of faith. The person you will marry may be discovering these lessons through everyday experiences. Perhaps they are learning how to remain calm during stressful situations. Perhaps they are realizing that words spoken in anger can cause deep wound. These realizations teach them to speak with wisdom and care. You may also be learning similar lessons in your own life. Every challenge you face may be shaping your ability to respond with grace instead of frustration. Over time, these lessons transform the way you relate to others. Proverbs reminds us that gentle words bring life and healing, while harsh words create pain. The ability to speak with gentleness becomes a gift in relationships. It allows conversations to build trust rather than destroy it. When two people who understand this truth come together, their communication becomes a source of strength. But again, these qualities rarely appear instantly. They grow through seasons where each individual learns the consequences of their choices. God often allows these learning experiences because they prepare the heart for something greater. Think about the journey of David before he became a king. David spent years in situations that tested his faith and patience. He faced moments of danger, uncertainty, and rejection. Yet those seasons prepared him to lead with wisdom later in life. Preparation is often hidden inside challenges. The person who will marry you may be facing their own version of preparation today. They may be learning how to remain faithful during disappointment. They may be discovering how to trust God even when circumstances feel unfair. These experiences shape their spiritual foundation. The same process may be happening in your life as well. Perhaps there were moments when you felt misunderstood or overlooked. Yet those moments may have drawn you closer to God and strengthened your faith. As Psalm 40 reminds us that those who wait upon the Lord will see His faithfulness revealed. Waiting becomes easier when the heart believes that God's plans are good. Jeremiah reminds believers that God knows the plans He has for them, plans for hope and an DA future. Those plans include relationships that reflect His wisdom and care. The person who will marry you is part of that future. Even though you have not met yet, both of your lives are being guided through experiences that shape your understanding of love. These lessons create a foundation where commitment can grow. Commitment is different from temporary emotion. Emotion may rise and fall, but commitment remains steady. Commitment chooses loyalty even when circumstances are challenging. 1 Corinthians describes love as patient and kind. It does not envy and it does not boast. It keeps no record of wrongs and always hopes. These qualities describe a love that endures beyond the excitement of the beginning. The person who will share your life must learn these qualities before the relationship begins. Otherwise, the challenges of life could weaken the bond between you. Preparation ensures that both hearts understand the meaning of faithful love. Somewhere right now, the person you will marry may be learning how to forgive someone who hurt them in the past. That lesson will help them bring compassion into your future together. They may be discovering how to remain calm during conflict. That lesson will help create peace in your relationship. Every experience shaping their heart today will become a gift to the life you share tomorrow. Every experience shaping their heart today will become a gift to the life you share tomorrow. The same is true for you. Every lesson you learn about patience, every moment where you choose kindness, every situation where your faith grows, stronger these things prepare you to become a partner who brings strength and encouragement. Over time, these lessons transform both individuals into people capable of building something meaningful together. Ecclesiastes reminds us again that two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. When one falls, the other helps them rise. This partnership becomes powerful. This partnership becomes powerful. Every hug, when both individuals have already learned resilience. Resilience allows a relationship to endure difficult seasons without losing hope. Life will bring challenges to every couple. There will be moments when circumstances test patience and faith. But when both partners have learned resilience through their own journeys, they face those moments with courage. The person who will marry you may be learning resilience right now through situations that strengthen their spirit. You may also be developing that resilience through your own experiences. Each step of growth moves both of your lives closer to the moment when two journeys finally intersect. When that meeting occurs, you may not immediately realize how much preparation led to that moment. But over time, as you share your stories, the evidence will become clear. You will hear about the struggles they overcame and the lessons they learned. They will hear about the faith that carried you through seasons of waiting. Together, you will recognize how carefully God guided both of your lives. And in that realization, there will be gratitude, because you will understand that every season, every lesson, and every moment of preparation was leading to the point where two lives that were shaped separately finally begin to walk forward together in the same direction. And as the two of you begin to walk in the same direction, there will be a growing realization that the seasons you once questioned were never wasted. Every delay, every closed door, every lesson that once felt heavy begins to reveal a deeper purpose. The wisdom gained during those quiet years becomes a guide for the life you build together. Many people think the greatest miracle in a relationship is the moment two people meet. But often the greater miracle is the unseen preparation that happened before the meeting. Long before your paths crossed, God was shaping your heart. When's arts teaching you patience, teaching you humility, and teaching you how to love with sincerity? The person you will marry may have walked through experiences that taught them the value of honesty. Perhaps they once trusted someone who broke that trust. That painful moment may have awakened in them a deeper commitment to live with integrity. When someone understands the cost of dishonesty, they become far more careful with the hearts of others. You may have experienced similar lessons. Perhaps you learned that true love cannot grow in an environment where respect is missing. Those realizations shape the way you approach relationships. They help you recognize the difference between something temporary and something meaningful. Proverbs speaks about the importance of guarding the heart because everything in life flows from it. Guarding the heart does not mean closing it completely. It means protecting it with wisdom, so that when the right person arrives, love can grow in a healthy and strong way. The person who will share your life may be learning that same wisdom right now. They may be discovering that patience protects the heart from unnecessary pain. They may be realizing that rushing into relationships without understanding leads to confusion rather than peace. These lessons may have taken time, but they are shaping the foundation for your future together. In the same way, your own journey has likely included moments where you had to learn patience. There may have been days when you wondered why life seemed slower than you expected. But those slower seasons often become the places where faith grows the most. Isaiah reminds believers that those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. Waiting is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of trust. It shows that a person believes God's timing is wiser than human urgency. The person you will marry may also be Leah. Knowing how to wait with faith, perhaps they once tried to force things to happen quickly, only to realize that real peace cannot be rushed. That realization teaches them to trust the process rather than control it. When two people who understand patience finally meet, they build relationships differently. Instead of rushing through emotions, they take time to understand each other. They listen carefully. They respect each other's stories. Respect grows when people recognize the journeys that shaped one another. Every experience you faced before meeting them will become part of your shared understanding. The challenges that strengthened your faith will allow you to encourage each other during difficult moments. The person who will walk beside you may one day speak about the struggles that shaped their life before you entered it. You may listen and realize that those struggles built the strength you now admire in them. They will also hear about your journey and the moments where faith carried you forward when answers were unclear. These conversations create a deep sense of appreciation because they reveal that both lives were carefully prepared. Psalm 121 reminds believers that our help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. This truth becomes powerful within a relationship because it reminds both individuals that their strength does not come only from each other. It comes from the presence of God guiding them. When two people share that understanding, their relationship gains stability. Instead of depending completely on one another for peace, they both depend on God as the source of their strength. This balance creates harmony. Harmony allows a couple to face challenges without losing hope. When disagreements appear, they approach those moments with humility rather than pride. Philippians teaches believers to live with humility and travail. In others deeply. Humility allows people to admit mistakes and seek understanding instead of defending pride. Imagine the power of a relationship where both individuals are willing to grow together. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, they treat them as opportunities to learn. The preparation both of you experienced before meeting will make this kind of growth possible. The person you will marry may have already learned how important forgiveness is. They may have faced situations where holding on to anger created pain. Through those moments, they discovered that forgiveness brings freedom. You may also have learned that lesson in your own life. When two people understand forgiveness, they create space for healing within their relationship. They do not allow resentment to grow because they recognize that love requires grace. Colossians encourages believers to forgive as the Lord forgave them and to put on love which binds everything together in perfect unity. Unity does not mean two people will never disagree. It means they remain committed to understanding each other even when differences appear. This kind of unity grows when both hearts have learned patience and compassion. The person you will marry may be learning those qualities through everyday experiences right now. Perhaps they are learning how to remain calm when circumstances feel overwhelming. Perhaps they are realizing that kindness has the power to change the atmosphere of a conversation. Every lesson shaping their character will become part of the life you build together. At the same time, your own character continues to grow. Every moment where you choose faith instead of fear strengthens the foundation of your future. 2 Timothy reminds believers that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That spirit shapes the way relationships develop. A sound mind allows people to make decisions with clarity instead of confusion. Love allows them to care for one another deeply. Power gives them the courage to face life's challenges together. These qualities create a partnership that grows stronger with time. As the years pass, the preparation both of you experienced before meeting will continue to reveal its value. The patience you learned will help you navigate difficult seasons. The wisdom you gained will guide your choices. The faith you strengthened will remind you that God is present even during uncertain moments. Ecclesiastes again reminds us that two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. When one falls, the other helps them rise. That support becomes possible because both individuals were prepared through seasons of growth before they ever met. Looking back, you will eventually see that the waiting was never meaningless. Every moment where you trusted God's timing was shaping the future you now live. The same truth applies to the person who shares your life. The same truth applies to the person who shares your life. Their journey of testing, their moments of learning, their seasons of faith, all of it was preparing them to stand beside you with strength and understanding. And together you will continue walking forward, building a life that reflects the lessons both of you carried through the years when your paths had not yet crossed, but were slowly, steadily, and faithfully moving toward the moment when two stories would finally join and continue the journey as one path guided by faith, purpose, and the quiet assurance that God had been writing this chapter long before either of you realized how close the meeting truly was. There comes a moment when the heart finally understands that nothing in this journey was accidental. Every season of waiting, every quiet prayer, every lesson learned through difficulty was shaping something far greater than you could. See, at the time, the preparation is shaping you. See, at the time, the path you walked was not empty and it was not forgotten. It was preparation. It was the careful work of God forming two lives separately so that when they finally meet, they are ready to walk together with purpose, faith, and understanding. The person you will marry is not simply appearing in your life by chance. They are someone whose heart has been refined through their own tests, their own prayers, and their own moments of growth. Just as your faith was strengthened through waiting, their character has been shaped through the experiences that prepared them for you. Every challenge they overcame and every lesson you learned has been building the foundation for a union that is deeper than emotion and stronger than circumstance. When two prepared hearts finally come together, they bring patience instead of pressure, wisdom instead of confusion, and faith instead of fear. They understand that love is not only about the joy of the beginning, but also about the commitment to stand beside one another through every season life brings. They recognize that true partnership grows through humility, forgiveness, and a shared trust in God's guidance. So, do not lose heart in the seasons that feel slow. Do not allow doubt to convince you that the waiting has no meaning. Trust that God is working in places your eyes cannot see and in moments your mind cannot yet understand. The same God who has been shaping your faith is also shaping the life of the one who will walk beside you. And when the time is right, the preparation will reveal its purpose, and you will see that every step of the journey was leading you toward a love that was carefully guided, protected, and written into your story. Long before you ever realized how close that moment truly was. If you have ever felt like you were waiting for something greater, if you have ever wondered why certain seasons of life feel slow or uncertain, then you are in the right place. Sometimes the most powerful things God is doing in our lives happen quietly behind the scenes while we are learning patience, building faith, and preparing for the future that has already been written for us. Here at the Wisdom Embassy, we believe that every chosen one is on a journey of growth and preparation. Through uplifting messages, spiritual encouragement, and faith-filled reflections, this channel is here to remind you that your story is still unfolding and that every delay often carries a deeper purpose. A deeper purpose. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and allow this message to speak to your spirit. If this is your first time here, welcome to a community where faith grows stronger, hope rises again, and wisdom leads the way.